Hi, I'm Jim Webb from Emerge Prep. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what happens if the power goes out in your house and the minimum things that you got to think about to help yourself, your family, your friends, whoever's there at the time. Well, it so happens here in Owen Sound, Ontario, that the power just went out. And it went out twice and second time. And this is the first things that I did in my house to make sure that I'm prepared and secure for the next. How long can it go? I went on Facebook using my mobile phone immediately to see what's going on. I went to my neighbor next door to confirm that their house is also out, and they are. And I found out it might not be on until like 4 o'clock this afternoon, and it's like going for noon now. So if that continues, which there was a power outage last night, the temperature in your house is going to drop. So heat's important, your food that's going bad is important. The warmth of your family and health of your family is important. So the things that you want to go after the immediacies are heat and preparing and connecting with other people is super important. So what heat do you have if everything's went out and the pilot light is not happening in your house where you can at least get heat delivered in your home? Well, you gotta come up with other solutions. And I like to start with, organizing myself for things that I need. So, going after lighters and finding out where that is, and maybe you have a spot for candles and start it. All of this is an excellent example or a test for you to get organized for next time. Hopefully it's the day, hopefully it's somewhat comfortable, hopefully you got friends and family in the area that you can go to and all the rest of the stuff. But if you don't, having a simple areas that are somewhat organized is very helpful. Think about it. You've been camping probably, you got camping supplies. There's probably a lot of stuff that you could just kind of call that your emergency storage stuff, and think about that like a certain amount of emergency preparedness. So I've done a video, which I'll also put in the link below, and that has to do with, I've had like almost over 3 million views on this, using a clay pot, which is excellent, and tea lights in a tin, muffin tin, or any sort of tin, putting that over and heating this up so that it can actually retain it. It absorbs in here, dissipates. The concept is convection, where you put another lid on top of it somewhat larger, and then it creates a convection sort of thing. Either or, this is an old nautical boating. A link here that you can go or there that you can check out the video. But essentially, it has a 15 by 15 room. This can increase the heat for 4 hours and increase the temperature by 5 degrees. And that can make the difference between not comfortable and comfortable. So I strongly recommend, you probably have this down in the basement for your plants and whatnot, somewhat good thing to have available. That's one thing. While the kids are, they're, whoa, this is so exciting and stuff, and they're using your devices, things are going, power is going, and that is a communication thing. So you got to be concerned about these devices that you might, and look for your battery packs that you might have that you can charge in. All of a sudden, those things become pretty important. Your kids probably have the chargers to keep things and stop using the stuff. Turn off your Bluetooth, turn off your settings to retain the power for things that are going on, because your Wi-Fi is out now. You're on data, right? So I have a adventure battery. This is a EcoFlow, and I take this, it's got all USBs, AC, DC. You can actually plug in, this becomes a light, and this has many hours of battery life. You don't want to run it on a high voltage thing like a hair blowers and things too often. It does suck pretty serious, but it's good for keeping your elements charged, and maybe a simple heating device at most. I'll put all the links that I recommend in this video down below. You can reach out and ask questions. If you find any helpful stuff in this video, also make sure to remember to subscribe. And yeah, it's just really helpful. This is for my business. I do video and photo outdoors and stuff, but it goes with me everywhere, so I can go off grid and not worry about finding a Tim Hortons to plug in my devices. So having something to keep your devices charged is excellent. Your iPads, your tablets, things like that. The kids are gonna wanna work with that. So just having those things is good for a family. Now, heat is going in your house. It's dropping, it will drop depending on, I've got a double Victorian home here, so it retains pretty good, but the cracks around your doors, the things you want to put blankets, make sure windows are closed now if the kids like a certain amount of air and whatnot. just going around and taking a look how things are set up in the house. You can now. This is a fun one. This is a fun tip. Fun tip for kids to keep warm no matter how long it goes. You might want to prepare some. You probably have a tent kicking around somewhere. You can have a smaller one, put it up in the, your basement, in your living room, in the center. Tents are excellent for heat inside a tent. That's what they're for. They keep you, and you can put blankets in there and make it fun for the kids, because during this stressful time, that's what gets to people mostly in survival situations is stress. Stress is a killer. People freak out, their nerves, duress, and calming everyone down so the kids can go in. Hey kids, go in to the tent and just enjoy yourself and and relax and take it easy. Here's some coloring books, bring out the art, and then parents, the providers that can go about figuring out the rest of the things and organizing things while the kids aren't sensing the distraught nature of possibly the mom and the dad, or you as a single parent even. So it's very important to have that, and that's a really good tip. With the heat, of course, not putting the heat stuff in there. But the next thing is truly to start organizing lighting and stuff. And if this goes on a long time, that's preparedness, right? Simple preparedness. I'm not talking about like apocalyptic fear here that you have to be totally prepared for the disaster event. I'm just talking minimums. Like if this goes on till the time that it's dark out, then what are you gonna need? Well, you're gonna need flashlights. And I went into the camping supply and I got a headlamp, which is fantastic. These things are super powered. I have red light, blinking, all the fun stuff. I have my major tactical light. There's actually a USB battery in here. Got it from Canadian Tire, love it. I actually charged it last night by sticking the USB into it. So I just so happened to have charged myself last night because I was out on a photo shoot and realized that these things weren't fully charged. So I was up to speed with that. It really, like all of this kind of come into the mix when I woke up and I realized the power went out on my place. Even my battery I realized was gone. It's not charging my computer and keeping it up to speed. So I got to look into the warranty of that. But light sources. And now with light and warmth, and the kids are ready, you start organizing all of your, it's good to have, candles and different sorts of things, butane that can fill up your lighters and things, and having an area that has certain candle holders, the things you don't use, all in a little, area. I have this always, somewhere that I can quickly get to, because I know a lot of people throw everything in the junk drawer. Hey, maybe that's your spot. That's as simple as it can be. But there are extra things you can buy online, like emergency candles that are like survival candles, okay? These things can go for 36 hours. That is great. Give you a day, 2 nights sort of thing in the evenings. There's 9-hour candles specifically designed for lanterns and stuff, so it doesn't emit all of those toxins and stuff, and you can get these sorts of special candles. Again, emergency items listed below. Go to the emergeprep.com and check it out. They'll all be listed there for simple family basics that you can do to help yourself to survive a simple, power outage in the winter, which it is right now here in Ontario, Canada. And it's important to have all of this organized and whatnot. So I get into the even stuff like, you can be outside with a barbecue. Use your barbecue in the winter to cook, and you go outside, keep the door shut, don't leave it open, go in and out, don't let the kids go in and out, constantly releasing the heat that's in your home. But you can use the barbecue to cook now with your propane. Remember, you can use that. Or there's certain elements like you might have in your cooking, in your camping supplies, little devices like this that you use like once a year, and you might have a propane tank that you put on there. Or you can use your propane tank with an adapter on this, and then you can cook outside, not in your house, folks, without the fumes and stuff like that. But it could be in the back room that's ventilated, so you can get the boiling of the water, the cooking of the meals, and the simple open a can of Alpha Gettys for the kids. Good things to do. So since we're on the topic of food, you'll also want to consider things going bad. Like I have freezers outside, indoors, like in the back room, and then you have a fridge that you don't want everyone going in and out on to letting the cool out of the fridge. And you got to be concerned about what is in your main fridge. Should it go somewhere that's cooler? So cooler, literally. You can use your coolers, and this is a thing that you could just put things out into the back room in a cooler and allow it to be cold out there, which it will affect that. You can get some ice from your freezer, put it in there, and look after the things that might be going bad. But again, your fridge has a certain amount of time because it's a sealed sort of thing, but it's good to start thinking about coolers as prep areas in case your food is gonna start going bad the next day, in your fridge if you have a lot of stuff pulled out and the power went. So those are primary things, just simple preparedness. Now you're gonna wanna, start thinking about the evenings and putting candles around the home. I'd really recommend that, in specific spots like the bathroom, like somewhere near the stairs, at the top of the stairs, in the bedrooms. Just little things, not set up yet, maybe with a lighter or something, and telling the kids don't play with the fire anywhere, and that, mommy and daddy under a certain age will help to do that. But setting up candles strategically ready for when the night comes would help an evening also. There are, if you were so wise as to have a bag that this is going a little further, that you always have like an old knapsack, the kids' knapsack that they grew out of that they don't like anymore. You could even do that. And then, getting preparedness objects going. And there's a lot of things in here that you can have above and beyond that, which I'll go and I'll share in another video. Perhaps I'll link at the end of this video. But you can do a lot more just to be a little prepared. And I'm talking like when you're on car trips and say the power went out and gas stations aren't working and everything, and your gas is going and you gotta like go somewhere to get something or explore the town that you don't know for a motel. Having an emergency pack always in your car, just ready with some additional survival items that you can be prepared for, would really highly benefit you also. All right, I know this was a long one, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of the basics that you gotta consider for your home if the power goes out, for the wait time that it takes. The energy, the heat, the food, your mental state, your anxiety, and calming, and just having a little bit of the basics is great and prepared somewhere in your home. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. I'm always here to interact with my community. I'd love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.